Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back. I hope that you're having a sensational night, a beautiful one. Thank you as always for being here and showing up and stopping by, coming on in, and joining me here today. We're listening to little Jóhannsson. We're going to listen to this track, Orphic Hymn. This is off of the album Orphic, which was his solo album released in 2016. Listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Jóhann. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I appreciate that. I can't help but think that based off the album title, based off the song title as well, that this is probably going to be based off of Orpheus in some capacity, off of the myth of Orpheus. And I'm somewhat familiar with the riff or the myth of Orpheus because it's probably my favorite song from David Sylvian and probably my favorite song of all time. So, naturally I try to understand what I'm listening to. And I always have to bring David Sylvian into this. Earlier, my wife and I, when we have dinner with Liam, we give him like this little, like a piece of fruit basically and juice. And we have dinner that like distracts him long enough so that we can have dinner. And instead of having the TV on, we've been putting music on every night. So yesterday I had, what did I put on yesterday? I don't remember I think it was just jazz that I put on yesterday. Nothing specific. I have to make sure the music is good for not just myself, but also my wife as well. I have to make sure that she likes it as well. And so today I put on some French jazz. And then after that, I put on Gone to Earth from David Sylvian. First 3 tracks, no problem. And then I went to go give Liam a bath, and the music was still playing. And my wife is not into like anything experimental, anything like that. She's just straightforward, whatever it is. And I said, "Oh God, she's not gonna like the next few tracks there." She didn't. Let's go ahead and listen to this track. We will discuss it a little bit after, of course. It's the final track on the album as well. Here we go. We've been listening to some music in this vein from, earlier times, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous to hear, something very similar in a modern time. And on one hand, not much change in a certain respect. But this just sounds so good. I love when the lead female vocalist, I'm not sure who it is, I have to see if I can find that, when her voice just comes up above the waves, and not in a bad way, but a monotonous rhythm of voices that kind of holds steady, and then her voice just so gloriously, shines like a just a beautiful ray of sunlight, just shines through and kind of encompasses us for a moment, and then it closes up again, and we're left in the clouds. Still a very beautiful thing, but left in the clouds. And then it would happen again. That's just a really incredible back and forth that's happening there. And can I tell you a few interesting things? So first of all, I have the lyrics pulled up, of course, so I can listen. And they're singing it in Latin here, and I'm just reading the translation here. Shadow enters the earth and the places it has seen before, recognizes all seeking through the fields of the pious, finds Eurydice and embraces her eagerly in his arms. Here they walk together with joined steps, now following behind, now leading the way. Orpheus looks back at his Eurydice safely. A happy ending. We won't. And I love how, we don't need to get the twist, but it's so beautiful and hopeful, and the voices are soaring just as Orpheus' heart would be soaring once he retrieves his wife from the underworld. And I think that the music really captures that elated feeling of victory and overcoming the seemingly impossible. I think that it's actually really nicely captured this. And naturally, a choir, in my opinion, has something inherently, spiritual about it in the way the music is used. And of course, what better way to use it than in here with something, this myth and this, like I said, overcoming the impossible. And it's really beautiful. Now, the other thing that I discovered, because I Googled Orphic hymn in trying to pull up the lyrics to this particular track, but I got something interesting here. Actually, when I did so, I didn't know that it's actually I guess a thing, for lack of a better word. So the Orphic hymns are a collection of 87 ancient Greek hymns addressed to various deities, which were attributed in antiquity to the mythical poet Orpheus. I had no idea that this was a thing. The hymns are among the few extant works of Orphic literature, and recent scholars have observed parallels between the collection and other Orphic works. I don't want you to laugh at me. Orpheus wasn't a real person. He was a mythical poet. He was a Thracian bard, legendary musician, and prophet. He was a renowned poet in Greek mythology. Yeah. So these were credited to him, but it's not by him. The Orphic hymns seem to have belonged to a cult community from Asia Minor, which used the collection in ritual and probably held Dionysus as their central god. Okay, cool. Party and wine. Little Bacchus for the rest of us. The rite in which the Orphic hymns featured was the telete, a term which usually refers to a rite of initiation into mysteries, and this ceremony appears to have taken place at nighttime. This is kind of cool. I would love to read the Orphic hymns. That sounds actually really, really cool. During the Renaissance, a number of scholars believed that the collection was a genuine work of Orpheus, while in the late 18th century, a more skeptical wave of scholarship arguing for a dating in late antiquity. Deities in the hymns. Kind of curious. I'm sorry. I'm reading. So I sometimes just get lost in in the reading and stuff. This is a really beautiful track, and it didn't need anything else besides just their voices to carry the music. This was really nice. That. And then brings it back down to their ebb. That's also extremely satisfying to listen to. There's a point in which you can almost predict what melody is going to come next, what voice is going to sing next, but it's always with such like satisfying and goosebump inducing. It's such an affair. I like that. I'm kind of curious about these Orphic hymns. Let me know what you guys thought. Of course, in the comments down below. Yerky Floor, thank you so much for the recommendation and for the support as well. I appreciate that. I'm still looking right now, like, can I buy a book of the Orphic hymns? Is it a huge book? Listen, I have a child. You know, I don't have a ton of time for extra things, but I'm kind of curious. 280 pages? Oh, I could burn through that in like a week or so, depending on... I'm kind of interested, though. This has got me interested in something a little different here. Read sample. I'm just curious, like, what's I'm curious what some of it looks like or reads, I suppose. I mean, it's not giving me what I wanted. I wanted, like, I don't want the information. I want the hymns themselves. I don't know. Got to keep this in mind. Oh, here we go. I found them. So Orpheus to Musaios. Friend, use it to good fortune. Learn now, Musaios, a mystical and most holy rite, a prayer which surely excels all others. Kind Zeus in earth, heavenly and pure flames of sun. And Dionysus the dancer, whose honors among the blessed gods are the highest. Strong spirited Ares. I call on Heb. I call on Aletheia. And the noble ardor of Heracles. This is kind of cool, huh? I'm sorry. I'm just now we're getting into diversions. Let me know your thoughts. I don't even know if I pressed the button already. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments below. Thank you so much, Yerky Floor, for the recommendation and for the support. I appreciate that. Hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that you enjoyed the music, and I will talk to you later. Maybe you learned something, like me.